Hey guys, welcome to today's video. So apologies for not uploading last week and for being a little MIA. I've been battling a really pretty nasty throat infection. So I've just been at home recovering, and if my voice gives out at any point during this, it's because I'm still sick. But I'm back today with the video, and as you can see from the title, I'm gonna talk about some drama that's been going on. You guys don't know, just like a quick disclaimer, if you're like Korean expat community is not on your For You page on TikTok, there's been a lot of shit going down there. I don't know any of the people involved in this personally. I don't know them on, like, I'm not even connected to any of them on social media. So this is just coming from me, my perspective as a bystander and as someone who has a social platform here in Korea, who a lot of people come to when it comes to foreigners wanting to move here or teach here, and I just felt a little bit responsible to talk about it. So again, I don't know any of these people, and I can't like personally address what they've done or what they feel. This is just coming from my experience and my perspective. The quick kind of bullet points of this is that there's been a particular TikToker who's been causing a lot of controversy and offending a lot of people. And I guess where this first started out, they were making videos where they were filming a lot of the Korean elderly here in Korea, and a lot of people messaged her or commented that this was quite disrespectful, really rude, and that she shouldn't be doing this kind of, she shouldn't be making this kind of content, and that she should really take it down. Obviously, TikTok is a platform where people film in public and they do stuff publicly, and that's pretty normal. That is what TikTok is, and a lot of people do film other people on their social media. But I think, especially in Korea, there's more protection against personal privacy. So even if like I'm filming outside or something, you'll notice that a lot of times I deliberately lower the frame, or I film in a way where I'm trying not to get people in my shots. That happened, and then this person did a lot of other stuff. And, you know, a lot of people come to Korea not knowing a lot of stuff about Korean culture and whatever, and that's, you know, there's a certain leeway you get with that, and there's a certain pass that you do get from not understanding and not fully knowing a lot of the stuff about Korea. And that is kind of the process while living here, is to learn about another culture and to, you know, adapt and to grow as a person while living here. So, you know, you do get kind of a leeway, but I think you do also need to act in a way where you're learning from your mistakes and you're taking time to understand what people are telling you and fix your behavior. And I think that wasn't being done. And then a lot of stuff happened where they made a lot of mistakes and they didn't learn from it, and they weren't really correcting their behavior, and they just perpetually made it worse for themselves, and a lot of people got really mad. That's basically what happened, if you want the quick version. And I think one of the things I do want to talk about here is that as someone who, I do make content about Korea, about being a foreigner living in Korea, I think that a lot of people, especially the past few years, have been coming and trying to make a lot of TikToks in particular, but just anything, YouTube and all that. And I think you have to keep in mind that, of course, you know, there's gonna be things that you should feel open to filming, and you want to make good content, you want to make fun content for your audience, but there is a certain level of cultural understanding that you do need to have, because you are a foreigner in another country, you're visiting this other country and you're living here, so you do need to adapt yourself to that. Another thing I want to talk about is there was a pretty big discussion going on. The TikToker in question, they made, I guess they were live or something, and they were saying that all you need to come teach in Korea is a bachelor's degree and to come from an English-speaking country, one of the acceptable English-speaking countries here in Korea. And then there was a lot of people arguing, saying that you shouldn't be saying that. Random people shouldn't just be coming here to teach English. A lot of them were saying they were from education backgrounds, they were teachers by trade, and only really like those people should be coming here and teaching English. There's like polarizing sides to this. Personally, no one else, this is my opinion, but also don't at me. The internet is scary. Technically, all you do need to teach at a hagwon is to have a bachelor's degree and to be from one of the accepted English-speaking countries. So, you know, from that perspective, that's not wrong. They don't ask you for anything else really. Ideally, you would, you know, have other qualities. But on a technical perspective, that is all you need. On the flip side, you know, I don't come from an education background. I graduated university with a degree in business and marketing, and I was working in corporate America in business and marketing before moving to Korea. So I didn't major in education. I'm not a teacher by trade, and I was still able to come to Korea and teach. So what does that mean? I don't think you need to be a teacher by trade to come teach in Korea. I personally think that the expectations of you as a foreigner English instructor here in Korea are very different than what someone who is a certified teacher in Korea would have. The expectations are different, and what you're bringing to the table is very different. I think what you bring to the table is obviously having English as your native language, but also having the cultural background and understanding of coming from a Western country. Now, with that said, I think that if you do come to Korea to teach, you should have certain qualities besides just a bachelor's and coming from a country that speaks English. I think you need to have a sense of responsibility, especially to your kids, because they are children. They are bright, innocent, and cute, and fun, and just like so adorable, guys. And you really, I just feel like if you even meet the kids, you should want to do right by them. I think that's your biggest responsibility as someone who's claiming to be their teacher. I totally believe really strongly that no matter what job you have, there needs to be a healthy work-life balance. So if you're coming to Korea to have a good time, to party and whatever, that is fine. But the thing is, you know, you can party and work. Like there is a balance there, and I think a lot of people who come to Korea don't remember that. And I just want to remind everyone, if you are here in Korea, you are here on a visa provided by your company to do a job, and you should do your job. I think that's like a very bare minimum thing to ask you when someone is paying your bills, when someone is paying for your housing, when someone's sponsoring your visa. That is like the kind of expectation one should have. If you do come from an education background, if you are a teacher by trade, that is great. That's obviously a really valued asset, and I respect teachers a lot. But I think, you know, if you don't come from that, that's also okay. But again, you really need to do right by your students, and you need to try really hard for them, because they're just kids and they're looking to you to like be their teacher. And I think that in itself is something that you need to feel responsible for, and you need to kind of be a role model for them in a lot of ways, and you need to want to kind of teach them English and teach them well. Not only are they going to regular school every day and getting homework there, but they're going to academies, which are hagwons, which are private institutions to get further education after school. And they don't just come to English Academy, they go to Math Academy, Science Academy, they go to Taekwondo, they have ballet, they have piano. They're doing this every day after school, sometimes on weekends. I mean, my kids on Saturdays, they'd be all going to Math Academy, and I'd feel really sad for them because I know like they would obviously much rather have fun and play with their friends, but they have so much work to do. And you know, their parents are sending them to all these places to hopefully better themselves and better their futures. So if you are coming to Korea, remember, keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind for your kids. I can't emphasize that enough. Keep in mind also, English is not their native language, and that they don't need it in their daily life. They don't need it in their day-to-day. They are going there specifically just to learn English for school, for their future employment, XYZ, so they don't use it at all every day outside. This could also be like their third language. A lot of my students, their main languages in school even are Korean and Chinese, or Korean and Japanese, and so English is kind of another language they're learning on top of all of that. The fact that they're even learning a third language or a fourth language sometimes is really commendable. Even when my kids had a hard time with English, it would be frustrating for me as their instructor because I wanted them to do well. I'd be like, oh, why can't you get this? But you always have to keep in mind that like this is not their native language, and it's already so amazing that they're putting in this much effort to learn another language. That's kind of my 2 cents on like that whole argument and what's been going around that. If you want more drama on this Emily in Korea situation, I suggest you go on TikTok and just kind of scroll through and find the hashtags, because it's definitely really, there's a lot of voices going on, and you know, I can't really speak on behalf of anyone because again, I don't know them, but I just wanted to put this video out there specifically to talk about this, because I felt this is not just like this one person who's clearly now become the headline for these kinds of issues, but a lot of foreigners come here and they create these exact same problems. It makes everyone look bad. So that's something I really think was important to address. Maybe because I'm not really as active on TikTok and anything, but I just feel like I could never make TikToks with my students. It's kind of odd. I personally don't want my students on my social media. I will say, after I left my public school, a lot of my kids asked me for some like social media contacts, so I gave them my Facebook. So a lot of my ex-students have my Facebook, but that's okay because I actually never use it, and I only check it to like check in with my mom, so I never post or anything. So that's why a lot of my students would have that social media platform, but I've never personally like shared that I have social media. My students might think I'm a fossil or something. Sometimes it's good to have a, you know, a clear line between your kids and you as a teacher. I just wanted to address all of that because again, I just feel like I have a certain sense of responsibility to talk about this kind of stuff. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.